We have talked about prehepatic jaundice. In prehepatic jaundice, the more amount of unconjugated bilirubin is formed. More amount of unconjugated bilirubin is formed, that is handled by hepatic tissues to convert this unconjugated bilirubin to conjugated bilirubin. So we know by now prehepatic jaundice have all those causes, and whenever there is increased destruction of RBC and more amount of unconjugated bilirubin is formed. Now coming to the hepatic tissues, hepatic jaundice. Hepatic jaundice is that jaundice when this liver cannot process this unconjugated bilirubin. For example, 10 molecules of unconjugated bilirubin was initially processed by hepatic tissues to convert into 10 molecules of conjugated bilirubin. Initially what was happening? Unconjugated bilirubin was converted into 10 molecules of conjugated bilirubin. Now what happened? Now this hepatic tissue has lost its tendency. Whenever this hepatic tissue has lost its tendency, this conjugation cannot be taking place. So there will be increased level of unconjugated bilirubin. Why increased level of unconjugated bilirubin? Because this hepatic tissue cannot work properly. So that this unconjugated bilirubin cannot convert into conjugated bilirubin. So in hepatic tissue there is increased level of unconjugated bilirubin. Now there is another scenario, and when their liver is malfunctioning because of cirrhosis, for example there is cirrhosis, or there is Crigler-Najjar syndrome, or another very important, that is Gilbert syndrome. So in all these conditions the liver is malfunctioning. So besides the increased level of unconjugated bilirubin, what happens? There is increased level of conjugated bilirubin as well. So by now we know the prehepatic tissues, prehepatic jaundice. Whenever there is a report of patient comes in front of us and the report is showing that there is increased level of unconjugated bilirubin. Only unconjugated bilirubin is raised, so it means this is prehepatic jaundice. And if both of these levels, unconjugated bilirubin and conjugated bilirubin is raised, it is hepatic jaundice. Now talking about post-hepatic jaundice. The causes of post-hepatic jaundice is like pancreatic head cancer, or gallstones, or any other that pathology when this conjugation is taking place inside the liver with the help of gluconyl transferase. This conjugated bilirubin then leaves the liver and goes to the gallbladder. For example, there is any obstruction in that path, that can be luminal or extraluminal, within the path or outside the path. Within the path is called luminal obstruction, outside the path is called extraluminal obstruction. So gallstones is luminal obstruction, pancreatic extraluminal because it is outside the lumen, and this is inside the lumen. So whenever there is increased obstruction, this unconjugated bilirubin cannot be eliminated from the body. This conjugated bilirubin cannot be eliminated from the body, and there will be increased level of conjugated bilirubin. It must be summarized that jaundice is of three types: prehepatic, hepatic and post-hepatic. All of these three, prehepatic, hepatic and post-hepatic, have their own causes like sickle cell disease, thalassemia, hemolytic anemias, or cirrhosis, Crigler-Najjar syndrome, or Gilbert syndrome, or in this post-hepatic there is pancreatic head cancer or gallstones. And all of these manifest differently. For example, in prehepatic jaundice there is increased level of unconjugated bilirubin. In hepatic jaundice, there is increased level of conjugated bilirubin as well as increased level of unconjugated bilirubin. On the other hand, post-hepatic jaundice, there is only increased level of conjugated bilirubin. So this is the whole summary of the jaundice. It has its own treatments depending upon the cause. You eliminate the cause, you stop the destruction of RBC. So whenever you change the cause, you manifest with the cause, this unconjugated bilirubin can be stopped. Pre-hepatic jaundice, all of these symptoms and signs can be treated differently, and in post-hepatic, all of these signs and symptoms can be treated differently. So it has its own treatment which will be taught in medicine. It has its own treatment and it has its own treatment. As we have already discussed, this pre-hepatic jaundice or pre-hepatic unconjugated bilirubin cannot be eliminated in the body from the body. So in this, the urine color or stool color will not be changed. Urine color or stool color will not be changed. And please remember, in the post-hepatic jaundice, urine color and stool colors will be changed. They will change here, they will change here. So urine color and stool colors will not be changed here. Urine color and stool color will not be changed here. Why? Because this unconjugated bilirubin cannot be eliminated from the body. On the other hand, on post-hepatic, this conjugated bilirubin, as we know that it can eliminate the body. So if it can eliminate, it will change stool color and urine color. There will be also another very important feature that is called pruritus. What is pruritus? Pruritus is itching of the body. Why this pruritus keep on itching? Because there are certain salts which obstruct the sweating glands. Certain salts obstruct the sweat glands, and whenever it obstructs the sweat glands, there will be increased itching, and this itching is called pruritus. So jaundice is of three types: pre-hepatic, hepatic, post-hepatic. All of these have different causes, and aside these causes, there will be increased level of unconjugated bilirubin, increased level of both of conjugated and unconjugated bilirubin, and on the post-hepatic side, there will be increased level of conjugated bilirubin. Make sure you remember another very important feature. Whenever this unconjugated bilirubin keep on raising in the body, if it is this state or if it is this state, it has the tendency to cross blood-brain barrier. And when it has a tendency to cross blood-brain barrier, it can lead to kinectris. So jaundice, we have already discussed, there is increased level of bilirubin in the body, and because of this increased level of bilirubin in the body, what happens? There will be yellow discoloration. There will be yellow discoloration of two very important areas. There will be yellow discoloration of two very important areas. Number one, skin, and number two, sclera. Sclera is the first organ to get yellow discoloration. So sclera is the first organ which presents with the yellow discoloration. So I hope it's done. Whenever the patient comes, make sure you take a proper history. Proper history is the first step. If the patient is from a certain area where there is increased hemolysis, or in the families there are certain diseases which run in the family, like Crigler-Najjar syndrome and Gilbert syndrome. So proper history is the main manifestation, main lead of diagnosis for the jaundice. And then you come up with the liver function test. In liver function test, you can check the level of bilirubin. After bilirubin, you can check unconjugated bilirubin or conjugated bilirubin depending upon the cause or diagnosis of the jaundice. So this is end of jaundice. Thank you.